Irani scout gebochte kainet.
Okei, nyt iskua, se koneet se matsi nohkua. Niistä on kaukana skjötsikis, se käännäämiska. Nohtuu sitä piakaa. Siksi tätä takia muutsi ei moipsti maatsi täpkuis sinne tahuki käini sinne kiitokanista piua mua. Anniwa aaviska nohkana pyys hukanoksi siitokanista piua tsemuiskaan. Mahukutsuka pishpi muistiskaneenista pukanipsitsis. Muutaan spian hanno tatsikita pi no kakaskiuts kastui hutapisni no kitsi puuttuu kieltä huheipua mu sawa mu no ke itsimstatu ja kitsen haamotse mahkotots ko etsi kai kukanomanna ni kekamata pinnako nistis no heipua mu pis no tatsikita pi aamustikissa käätä piskuesi kohki mit Issoht ja kätsämäät, no katseitsi niitsi, no katse ohkanipiutsi, no katseista putomaatsi ja on itse kätäpisku. Houki tämäkin piinä katsemui, no katsoa katsemuiskahpua, no tuuts pomokikakis tässä kun näitä piua kitseipursin on, kitsepstän on. Ajoista päätäpiu, ajo naapinaa tuusien näkyä. Tsahkomita pieki pitääkin kuukomikisummakin. Jo keituhkään niin, skatsumatakin ohkatakuis. No tsikkaksi kohsakin nää, no kissaan nopakin nää. Tsikin kimmata pinnää nää tsemuiskaan, niin minkä kohkui tsikamutahpinnääkin. Joista päätäpi jopa tsikin niitäksi pinnääkin, no tsiistikuiskin, no hatkuksin nää, niin päätäpissä, niitä huksiita mä tuupinnää, niin päätäpi vatu. Kistuun näin no kätsepstatsuukin nään, kistuukin no hannestakis pinnään, taho hannesta päätäpiä tuossinnaan, niin päätäpiis. Antoksiisi koiskakin. Ouki päätäpiä no kaakamannistumaan, tähän kun kohkuissinnaan, johkuista tohsinnaan, johkuopissinnaan. Hänikin naapita piuasen, ahsetapiisin, kimmapiipitsin, tähän kun käsiitämä tuossinnaan. Joista päätäpi jopa no kaisti ukinaan, nokin alkamanista pinnaan. Ennen kaamat tuussimaan, että näetskanaata, niin näkuu, kun eikin täänskatsemat pinnaan. Kiisti päätäpi jopa tämä, kun piippuja kiamstut, se on pakita piitsa, kennitsikaksi tsekit saakin opiitsa. Ahuksuka piuaken hutsempstaan, no ei siitä suojan hotsiistikois, ahuksuatsik kiniitäkin, ahuksuatsiitsita pämpuksia. Tsekutkoikis pinnaan, että onpakita piiminnaan itsekin. Nokista pinnahkukinnaan ja annekak tahuhanesta eikä mutahpiskatuu pinnaan, niin päätäpiis. Hän etsekä kiituu muitsakin, ennek nitsukuis pinnaan, niin päätäpiis, niin muksukui tahaikuhtsapaa puolkaksinna. Hookin etsekä otsiska se tuomitsu päätäpiis, aajama honoa ja puuka kiiskisiis, ne ottaa otsiska se tuopua. Man sitä päätistä tsahpauta komimistaan olet. Mä kukit sitä puhuta kaahsaa, että se muiskaan jahtsit pummuhsia. Hookin niitä skai nimstä ja käy no kohkiit se statsi saa kista päätäpi jopa. Mä kukit suotsikin niitäkin ja. Hookin etsik pukaa se itsekin sitsemään siitä paamahkaa. Et saa jo kimmaatuukin näistä päätäpi jopa issosta kun tuo maakin. Hookin itse käsistumme itsekin, se kiitaapiitsi, tässäkin näki opitsi. Ennen se kuuanua siitä opitsi. Joista päätäpi jopa siitä iskut, se saa sukapiustumpsua. Vahuhot siitä eikä kimmatu saa ennen kuin nohkita putoa maatapia. Otso kuamaa, että kiutsita piimoa, että mistä pipukuistuu saa, että siistumpsua, että siistumpsua. Joista päätäpi jopa ammaskaikin noha paakkamannistaan noha takoi. Kinitkin niin minä mahkutoit, kun itse kiikuu taapuutaksua. Juomannista aikaakin matsi saa, kenik no käännöstä, kun sitä putoa maakin pinnään. Käämutska puutakin itsekin no käännöistä, no käännöä taapuutaksua. Se kiikuu taapuutaksua. Iskuna taapsatsi saaki mahkukitomanista isuka puutsi saaki enistikisi puuttoa anika puuttaksi. Jos se päätöpio puhe, no kai johtoissa kentok siis koiskak. Ennen se kiitskinä ets muuttuu kiitska natsuu mitä et sen itsikää kiikua et soukka et kakko et nämpskaa et sekä nämpskaa nitska jauhka niin tuo kinsikä naamiaan stoa et sumuiska et se päätöpio paino kai johtuukin ainakin. Nohtsa aika kimah pinnään ispumuona nuota piisin sookin se tässä pummuut siis pinnään. Mä hohtsuka pispiin on niin tauhsi minään käännästsahkuja. Jos se päätöpio paamaskäikin noka paakaman sitä kennäk tsahkummiita piokannista kumoksa koista itussa koiska toopis. Mutta se kiito toista itsekin. Joo tsahkummiita piokakseita pohpiis pinnään kostomi tahki tohkita paamakka. No kaskuut kapiokin nään. Nyt skimman nään sitä huhotteita muuta etsimään. Jos se päätöpio paamaskäikin nohkaa päänätsä. Joo, kiamua nohkaa nohsinnakin. Mutta siinä auttaa, että tuo metsä nohkaa nipsitsi. Nahuhkonaa suka pio kenni kutsimstaan noin. Vaan suuta piisin jo tääkannista pio kiamukaa. Niistä takista niin niistä et tsahkuumin. Nahuhkonaa suka piakseetsi pakmi nikkää piikaa. Jos se päätöpio painokin tsimstatsi saavat siitä te. Ahituksah kiutsemme oikein minikkaa piistikään napi. Ahuksohtsit sinut pinnaan hatakuiskakin. Houkis se päätöpio paneekin nohanista päänätsätäkin. Aamusta ohsiistakin nohatoistutomuukin näin. Nohtaistum skohspinnaan taksohtuakan tossinaan niin ohsiakin. Houkis se päätöpio paneekin nohanista päänätsätäkin hatakuiskakin. Houki tuhansta tukaman ja pippustuisin ja piuisin kaamuttaan säätä piuaisin.
Okei, Rani, nitsiksi iksematsi pinnaan annohki tatsamuiskaan. Kita nikkia ihpio käkäsim. Saaki teksat. That's a separate contract. Käkäsim. Okei, jitkonäksematsim uhpua annohk. Iganistinatsu isnapakätäpi eitsi pujiks. Okei, moksi käkeistä matsukua annohkaa. Mi täkä käkyo niitä pistotuotsi ja okaksimäks ei tsipuja so akka jääpipuja käkeitsipuja kio om napi kun ne kamsa so ei tsipuja nege aksta mikä jääpipuja oken noch kio kanipiot spani tokska jahki tutsta piitsi suai niitä sapistuttuutsim okaksimäks mi itäkä käkyo timber limits iptsistutukia ki tuipia oken jakutsimahpua manista iptsistutuksa ok niitä sapistuttuutsim ja jakutsinahspua October 5th Janske gjort kanipiohpia kärkit sokotesta piitsi so kärkit sinohspa kihpia mi nit sapistututsi ania akstineita sokotesta piitsi ki ekam nani soitapi amoksi matsknipi mikä to swa kukuai Ätä poja kuuas nuhat kiohatseteista matsuk ja so niitä pakoi moksi kinnin mohkutuks käks oke miksi tapoutakiks iksta ja kerksukutesta piitsissä oke nohka October 5th Natu kai misti sapistutuutsi. Amo tukskai nitnikatup settlement agreement. Anye nit sapistutuutsi, anye kyaktitsnikukuha. The settlement agreement. Ikakawo kamo ni tukskai kyaksikat ich tochpumo ich bio. The settlement agreement, 49.4 million. Kyakutsinaku. So genne gage istamatsutspua. The settlement agreement ich bio ich tochpumo. The net is about 48.6 million. O kiamo gagate istamatsutspua nidakutsitapio. Nidakakcha ich tochpumo fix. That's the trust agreement. So I'm saying natukas aniste gakutsinohs. Wage suki tsi pua 49.6 million. Oge suki tsi pua nidayakutsitapio. Ganye gyocht kanipiotspua. Good evening, everyone. I'm Hank Shade, and I'm the facilitator of this evening's information. It's called the Timber Limit Specific Claim Community Information Meeting. It is pretty much, you could say, it's a legal requirement of the agreement that you are fully informed about the settlement. There are two parts that you will be voting on October 5th. The first part is the negotiated settlement. And to really sum it up, you're going to get a lot of details. Money is involved. We settled for money, 49.6 million. So you're going to be voting on the settlement agreement, and you will get details on that. The other part you will be voting on is the trust agreement. So money in, 49.6 million, less some costs, deposited into a trust and then expended for about 5 purposes: distribution, roads, 10 million to roads. So you'll be giving the information on where and how the funds will be dispersed. So my job is to keep the meeting on focus. There's only one purpose, and that's to explain the trust and the settlement agreements, the specific claim. So that's the only purpose. So in a way, as chair or facilitator, I'm sort of the gatekeeper of questions. First of all, we're going to go through all the presentations without questions so we can get the information out and accomplish a requirement of the agreement, which is inform you so you make an informed vote. When you vote, you know what you're voting about. After all the presentations, then we will open it up for questions. And that's where what I meant when I said I'm sort of the gatekeeper of questions. I can't pass on irrelevant other topic questions. I can't pass them on to the presenters. If it's about, which is the purpose of the meeting, if it's about the specific claim at the timber limits, I will pass that question on. Some questions may need a little prefacing, a little bit of setting up, but I'm going to be listening for a question and You know, within a minute, a question should be asked. You may need to set it up a little bit, but so about a minute, then I'll be asking for the question. So let's get right into it. There is the agenda. So we have 5 speakers in the opening remarks. And then we have our legal counsel, who will be going over those agreements I sort of set up and briefly talked about. The 2 agreements, settlement and trust. And then we need to know about the ratification process and the thresholds. How many people have to show up in order for it to pass or for it to fail? So our intent is not to ask you to vote yes or ask you to vote no. Our intent is simply to give you all the information so you decide which way you're going to vote. We cannot influence and will not influence your vote. So with that, let's get right into it. We will try to be done as soon as we can. So with that, amo kinni now, okay. Kaya kay stamatso ko amo makiinima, okay. Yakita pa.
Exokoa ka kia o kana ka kia makitapia wa setapia na ka kina tui tapia kit khona examatsum upuan kwa ksistikoi kim ukhtam ukhpinnan an ukdagite pisku ukhpinnan han ukhtan sipiwa tukhpam ukhistui piakpi pinapa ka kstiman nukhmi daka kia kiopi which is the stand nastim ukhpikachsenona mi geistua organic ninax. A me so yochbauch, Gwenny meist, it's Tiomok in Nastogaxima. O Kiboxa Bochik, it questioning me, geisto, Ugabana says to talk, Agabana says to Tokyo, Augaxima piquex. Need sinesh me axnate a bist to chop, Mr. Bochik. Siksikai. Itan sweksa a noman nene toch simin nun. Noman ne raguman sita paspinna. Hogan nestamatita kukaksima so. Itsen sinesh, pitsen itanukakshima sewanchk. A me axikakshio me idaka kyakyopi. Hogstama pass sewanik boxa boxika. Tamsokatsi. Matset saakatsi toki pinaapaukaksimax. Naamukanista puhtu pami taaka kiopitam soukatni askimata kuhtohkutsista piispua. Hoken iskei nikso kuan iskei tuipiajaun. Soukuttsista piiksis sammo maatkutsista pio pami hi taaka kiakio. Hoken iskei hukam kiakai naksammo Moxie Chita Boakino, Simia, Moxia, Borixia, Piquaxi, it's the Piquax. Mochkotox, Cax. Itomatapa, Skimia, Kenya, Stamau, Kunimia, Nexnitsi, Nitatsis to Toots. O Kenya, Kikanohumatomata, Pisamo, it Tuipia. Some it Tuipia makes it. Pinapaukaksja, mistä ohuttuksesta piis käännä, mutta sohkutuksesta piisen nienne niitä paaktuupi itäkä kiakiopi. Onks tämä pääsi, onks tämä tsuhtyyppiä ja känne ei tuu kaksimattuumi ninäks. Mohkutukska, kiddin. Tämä tukaksama on kehuni psaaksa pistu tuutsiima. Aki psaaksa pistu tuutsiima. Pinapaukaksima nannimeistuma tapsi, onks tämä paskis, vanuhumaatumässä muu, tsitsi ni matutsi puis pinna na mi kanuxsin net kanuxsinanix ninax kenne sodamitanis pinna kiksi koksuksennatsu muusti manissuh pimuksi stohpummo piks hanniksaaks punstakki ei kakaimia ken skeni tohan stopstio niksu kua kistoa kedaks nauhtsinoxpu kistoa kedaks nauhtsinoxpu kedanstiksumstahpua hanniakutsapa ken sken huigu tutama pia jaksopoja pienapskoksnanen uksistikoi Okiakayema uksiksaawahtui aina pskokatumannen stappio hanne kuuen nukunsi saksa pistutuutsim pinapaukaksima hammuksi agukatsi puyana itumumahka akayam stindima ituminnima kuak muhatsitsini puya Ogamatsishki ninaxan huita pastiksa. Kagitsi akki sapuya paistamatsoh pinnanen stapio anno kanuhs. Kidakit sapuya kitsak sapuya pinapsko senani ammuka istay puyo bigaga uhta sami puyo. Uhta sami puyo. Kano. The elders, our younger people, our spiritual people, my greetings to all of you to tonight's meeting. It is important to remember a bit about the history of this claim, the timber limits claim. As you may or may not know, that original treaty in Nassau-Kaksiman was made at Soyukhpaukhkwe. And shortly after that initial treaty was made, our leaders under Meek-Gesto, under Chief Red Crow, found out that the written treaty was a bit different than the original intent and the true spirit of that treaty that was made. Found out that we were supposed to have a reserve east of Siksika along the river. So when they found that out, of course, they informed the agents and the representatives from the federal government, no, this is our mainlands are here, and we are going to stay here. You're going to have to change that wording. So, of course, then an addendum, as they call it, was made in 1883 from the initial 1877 treaty. And in that addendum, the timber limits was included. Timber limits was included. It wasn't until, I believe, 1889 that it was officially surveyed and added on as part of the reserve. So shortly after that, unfortunately, the federal government again tried to deceive us. They did not allow us to be able to have access to our timber limits, to be able to use the timber limits. I believe that occurred in 1914. And this carried on for some time. The technical people will share those specifics with you as they make their presentation. So that is the basis, as we understand it, that is the basis of the timber limits claim. And we have been negotiating with the federal government over the last few years. Our tribal government committee, our negotiating committee, have done a good job in the negotiations that we have undertaken. And some recommendations have been made, some we followed, some we didn't. But we, I think, have come up with a package. We've come up with a package that we will now share with you. We will share that with you, and again, it will be decided by a majority of our membership on whether or not that, that offer will be accepted. We've set aside so much money for this purpose, set aside so much money for that. Three different matters that we've set. The original amount was $49-some million. Because of the costs that were borne in reaching that, it is now $48-and-some million. And of course, Council, in our deliberations, we've really set aside some money from that total amount for distribution. We've set aside some money for public works and roads work, and some money set aside for long-term investment for future Kainai works. So again, we have people that have been going around to the households trying to inform you as much as possible about this claim. We will have a referendum on it electronically on the 3rd and 4th of October, virtually, and on the 5th of October, we will have that vote here. So basically, I just wanted to cover that part and encourage all of you to come and vote, because it is up to that decision of the majority of our electorate who will decide on whether or not we accept the offer and the conditions or not. Kainai, kami napskuh nikso amoksi gidaksaboya paniko amoksi ikuit sa tapi ko ikuit sa tapya ki wokimoksi mokutuks kaksi niksa iksuka po simya iksuka po so kyo manakay okstakyo atino takyo istok mo bago katsi puyo hannakan stapak chai hannakan sitapi Hogan na ginawa ni Stokoy na pskuh po an ikso. Han.
Thank you, Makiinima. Everyone, the tribe is divided or separated into several departments. You have ECDEV, education, etc. The department within the tribe that negotiates all our land claims and settles them is the tribal government and external affairs. So tonight, we have 2 members. Do we have 3? 3 members of the Tribal Government Committee. We have the chair, who I will ask to come up now, Dorothy Idumomachka.
Okay, nagsokwa kitsig ko connection matsim okwa. Distuwa ko kito mumaka Dorothy First Rider. I'd like to thank Ron Scout for the heartfelt prayer that he has offered to us this evening. And as we all know, it's the prayers that we begin each meeting with that sets the tone for the meeting. So thank you, Ronnie, and to all the elders that are attending this evening's session, and of course to the members of the Blood Tribe. As Makiinima has stated, the purpose of this evening is to assist you in understanding what the timber limit claim is all about, and that's what we're hoping to do by sharing some relevant information with you, factual information. O kitsik ko connection matsim kwa waki ano ka kita ko katsi na kitsini ko kwa kya kita istamatso kwa anokaamoy ni Dapski pinoni nanis tukutsi ohpukupi manoni umikshokakstimaks ki nitsitskanikkinoni akasapitskimiawaki amini danis tukpinoni manis suhtu pinakutsipun stays sinoni kistunno kana anokamo nitsavat tukutsisitapi yopi umistini danskatupi deka kyopi. Okiana Makiinima anokagman states namats tukatupi amu in 1914 umi the park when it was established. The park regulations applied to the timber limit, unfortunately. Iskohtsika ki amikshi kitum kitapi minonikshi kitsitapi minonikshi ikutaikshi sitapi ya the timber limit. Ideka kya kia widokui skayawa ki idekski mayawa ki doisya ki ikitawa kohkutsimaya. Kaya misniskai akakuma pi uhtawadwap spermatsidokkutsimiayawa. Kenya stama pasiwa kitumadaptswat kutsi ksisitapiyo. Keneni denskatupa the loss of use and the inability to adequately access the lands. Anokakumikshi omutapawakaks with these information packages. Anokakdam sukitanikinnonia wakipokestamatsi sakyutsit utapisin. Some of them didetsistaya that it's a land surrender. It's got everything to do with loss of use and loss of access. Nidayo pokupi masinuniksi umiksi okaksima pikuaks. Nitsutukanesatsi pinunitsawatukutsisitapiyo pi. Sidenstenonia okenne nitsimmi. This is the amount that we feel that you owe us for loss of use and loss of access. And it came to 43 million. Stama pääsi vikatsista pissamut sitskanikinonia saan madanstohtu patskak nistunnana nistskatsi pinonits 23 million. Siden stenun saat aamissi nistaskematski no pskataks pinonak takatsitapski pinon. Siden stenun stampokopi misuma our consultant kakidesta matsukwawak how he arrived at the numbers. Kenya Kyaskakaniyawa Kitpokopi Miyawe Kima, our consultant. He explained how he got the numbers and his methodology. Manistskatsipya. Sidenstenuna aneni tsohtu pak 49 plus million. Samatta pääsi wakikinitsi aniyawa kyokeksina mohpinno. Kinitutskakiyawa kitaniyawa. We're offering you the 49 plus million. So that's how we arrived at the number. Amuistiskak these claims that we pursue on behalf of the Blood tribe, Matsikini series. It doesn't just take a few years. For example, the tribe filed this claim with the federal courts in 1999. Ikatsista pisamuwak in 2011, that Canada finally came back to the tribe, okay, we're accepting it for negotiations. So from 2011 to 2023, we finally reached an agreement on this. Although we thought it was a very simple claim, it wasn't that complex. It was loss of use and loss of access. It took us so many years to be able to finalize it. So we're quite excited, we're quite happy that we were able to settle another claim for the tribe. And as we go further along, we're going to identify some of the allocations that we're going to be allocating to the various departments. And how we reach the allocations is based upon the tribe's concerns, the departments and entities' concerns. And these concerns have been there for a number of years. And the reason why they couldn't be addressed adequately by the tribe is we don't receive adequate funding from the federal government. For example, Public Works, we received a presentation by Public Works in the latter part of the winter. And in that presentation, at that time, they said it was going to cost $27 million to bring the roads up to par, to bring them and repair them at least sufficiently so that way the school buses and water deliveries and people traveling on these roads won't incur so many breakdowns. So we decided, okay, let's put 10 million aside. When we do these allocations, it's up to the departments to use it as seed money. And what that means is they go out and they apply for additional dollars, either from the federal government, sometimes from the provincial government, to ensure that they have enough money to do what they need to do. For example, from the MOA and the cattle claim on the twin rinks, it was going to cost more money than what we had allocated to them. But we told them, this is seed money, you'll have to go out and get additional dollars. So as we go throughout the presentation, I know that the information officers have brought to our attention that there are questions in regards to the money from the mismanagement of assets and from the cattle claims. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on a spreadsheet on the screen to indicate what the allocations are to which departments and how much money has been spent to date. And we're also going to indicate the distributions that we have made from the mismanagement of assets. And every year we've been giving out distributions, I believe, for the past 3 years. And then we're going to be doing another one this year based upon the interest that's derived from the investment. We haven't decided on the date, but we'll put out notices as soon as we make that decision. And sometimes, like last year, Council decided that they were going to put some of our own funds to increase that distribution, because if we make an average of approximately 3 million from the interest, and that usually comes out to a little less than 200, a little more than 200. And last year we also included the non-land occupants money in there, and then some monies from our own source revenue, and that increased it to some of the non-land occupants to a little over 500, and then to the land occupants a little over 300. So I have members of the committee. I'd also at this time like to thank the support of Chief and Council throughout, from the time that the claim was filed with the federal court, the time the claim that was submitted to specific claims in 2000, previous Chief and Council, previous Tribal Government Committee, and as well the current Chief and Council for supporting us. And Binagoyim will, in his presentation, make a few comments on the cattle claim, because Travis is the chairperson for the cattle claim, and Binagoyim is the chairperson for the mismanagement of assets. So thank you. And later on, I'd like to have Richard, and I see Floyd in here, and I don't know who else is here as well, if they would also like to say a few words. So thank you.
So with that, next on our agenda, Maria Russell, a committee member of tribal government.
Okay, Omkitapigs, Asitapigs, Ghana. I'm really honored to be a part of the presenters here to provide information to our Ghana community for the timber limit claim. As you've already heard, we have a lot of information to provide. We have a lot of people going out door to door, looking for the support of the community in bringing our community forward with better opportunities to help not only our departments and entities, but for the children and the future of this tribe. I would like to thank Ronnie for the prayer, Makiinima for your opening comments, Dorothy, the panel, our legal team, Hank, and for all of you for showing up to get firsthand information on this important claim. As you are aware, this is not the tribe's first claim. I take this opportunity to thank our ancestors, and I acknowledge our ancestors a lot. And the reason that we're all here today is because of them. We have strong traditions, culture, a language that brings us to where we are today. And I am very proud to be from this community. And I know that when we work together, many good things happen. We always need to remember our children and the future. Way back when Makiinima referred to some of those stories, how long ago those stories were. And today, those stories are as important as they are today as they were in the past. And through these stories, they're the beginnings of things that have happened to us, that have been wrong to us by different organizations, and these stories help us and guide us in moving forward. We have several claims that have been approved, and we have a lot of capital projects that are happening currently. And we will be getting information from the departments and entities on when a timeline on some of these other future projects will be taking place. And as you heard, Dorothy, a lot of this is seed money. The tribe doesn't have a lot of money, I guess, to provide that full support. So we always have to be out there negotiating to provide more money to complete these projects, such as Red Crow College. The college received money from one of the claims, and the province of Alberta helped complete that project. So that, and I'm sure many of you have seen the college, and I encourage all of you to take a tour through that beautiful building that is going to take care of our future. You will be hearing a little more about some of the projects that, with some of the claims. And with this claim, we have the members in mind when the discussions took place on how this money, if it goes through, how it's going to be spent. You heard that with some of the capital projects, the roads. I think the roads affect almost every individual, department, entity, and this will be a good injection into supporting our needs for the roads. We have also individual members that will benefit from this with a distribution, and also an amount that will be going as an investment into the future. I encourage all of you to come out and vote. We can't tell you how to vote, but I'm glad that you're here to get firsthand information on what this claim is all about. And remember, these things benefit not only us today, but our future as well. And we depend on the community community support to bring Ghana forward. Again, thank you. Thank you for the previous negotiators. This is a lot of work in what happens behind the scenes and going forward with the projects. The work doesn't stop here. And I encourage you, online voting is October 3rd and 4th, and in-person voting on October 5th. And we're looking forward to the support of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, one of our hardworking committee members on the Tribal Government Committee. And now I'd like to bring up Makiinima Travis Plaited here, another member of the Tribal Government Committee. Travis?
Thank you, Hank, and thank you, Ronnie, for the prayer. Always awesome to hear your wicked Blackfoot. O gusto na ko ka akayamstin naman. O tiktaksi da kitkuno tuksoan ka takwe. Kakitsistio katusi muti kakata piamuti apu timoy. Akutsi uyo. O ginisto manok ka ko piat amu manok ka tigas ko ya pskatsi daistio. Ginisto matok kitok kanis pa hiksuko wattu ya. Hakita pisama pski pamustke. Oke chikukai ka kim nakumanista nakkai chi puisi. Tikaki chi pui. Kama chino ka tinanistiam si ikaka tapi a sitapi tani senstu tikukai kim mai tikukai stu tai ka kim. Ane nu tex kani pua a sitapi tikikim matapsi. Ogidaks te mucha pi, ogidaks tanats pia pi. Okay, good evening, everybody. Once again, thank you, Ronnie, for the prayer. And Ronnie's been very helpful in working with some of us who are working with the community members, working even with the claims and going to the community and asking them, what would you like to see done in your community if we're successful with some of these claims? So we get firsthand information from them. And I consider myself one of those people. Just because I'm up here doesn't mean I'm not a Kainai or from old agency. I'm still a member of the Blood Tribe, and I'm proud of that. And I'm going to work really hard to make sure that our young people are taken care of. So in the last little while here, obviously COVID, we never really got an opportunity to meet in person until about a year and a half. So I didn't see Roy for about 2 years. But it was good to finally get back to kind of normality here, and it's really good to be out. We've got experts here. I'll just share a little bit about my experience in this whole process. Before, just like you guys, but I was always taught by Nietzsche, my grandparents, my dad, I stroke. You can see my Dutch guys, madak sapa bio. You can see I in a go as a minaka kokim. But you respect that. The lawyers, I sat down. I haven't missed one meeting since I've been here. I go to every meeting and I listen. And the information that I get from all these experts, whether it's lawyers, you name it, Ikunai ka kimaya maksapapis. Okin keke ta. We've come to this. Akitsinokso. Ken kekistu ay tapst. Comes to you. Yaksupayaps katsisu. Kistu kitaks katsi. Kimada ka pas puchis tata matapi kistu istik sukayaps katsi. Kistu kitakitsinoks. Mada kitsipa kakitu tsinokui kakitsinoks. Kistu kita. That's your responsibility. So that's what I'm encouraged. I talk to a lot of young people, college, universities, that's poyapis. I'm not on Facebook, but apparently I have a helicopter, but that's okay. I had to throw that in there. But I focus on our young people because you hear that old cliche, you're the future. And I used to hear it too, and you guys used to hear it too. Well, here we are. We are. So let's make good decisions for our kids, our young people. I have a grandson, Ansta, ni tanikami, apiutskina, in Skatsiwe. He started school the other day. He was really proud. He had his braid. Oh, utenskatsina, apiutskina, ni tanikami. From that day, some of the Banstinskata, ni tanikami. The whole family. The teachers, matansta kai, ansta ni tanikami. How am I going to say that? Ni tanika, just keep saying it. So every day I tell my grandson, did your teacher call you ni tanikapi? Ah. So to me, that's what these settlements are for. I have a lot of respect for past leadership, council, chief. Chris is sitting here. All of our chiefs in the past, they all participated and they all helped work towards not just this settlement, but other settlements. And there's we all know about the big claim. Well, that's in the process too. Doing our due diligence, working with experts to make sure that we get the best settlement out of that too. So I can stand up here and talk forever, but I really want to encourage all of you to listen carefully to the information that is going to be presented here. I'm going to be chairing the cattle claim, and I have a list of all the projects that are coming out of that particular claim. They're going to be shown up here on the big screen. Not only that, we also show some numbers from the mismanagement. And that one is pretty much complete. There's still few things we've got to tidy up. But the cattle claim is the one that I'm chairing. We're just going to begin the process of starting to allocate those funds right now. The only thing that's been allocated out of that was the distribution that we had, I believe, back in February. So that money is sitting in trust and it's gaining. That's why we put them in trusts. If we just left it in our back pocket, you'll just have $5 all the time. But if you put it somewhere and you invest it, you'll have $10. That's the process. And that's where the cattle claim is sitting right now. We got an updates for you guys on that. If you have any questions later on, I'll stick around. I'm more than happy to talk to any of you, anytime, anywhere. Just don't come to my house. Jokes. Okay.
Thank you, Travis. Dorothy suggests, and it's a good idea, let's hear from our other, they're not tribal government committee members, but they are on council and they are here showing their support for this process, information process. Richard.
Glad to see everyone that's here. We all support our people, Kainai. That's what we're all about. our children, our ancestors, they put a lot of work into what we're standing here today for. And you've got to honor one another, to support each other. We're not here to sway votes, yes or no. We're here to give you information, to make up your mind. What what do you think about this? And also, we have 19 days for the vote. So we have time to get together, and decide, go through that paper that's in front of you and see where, if you have questions, we're here to answer them. And also, a lot of good information has been provided. I'm not going to repeat anything, but my reason being here is to support our people, Gana, our council, and thank you, Ronnie, for that prayer, and the people that are here. Thank you for showing up, because these are major decisions we're making for our people. We all got to stand as one. We just got to continue, moving forward. We got to continue, honoring one another. And if we have questions, we're all here. We're all here. For myself, I'm on Facebook, and I'm always encouraging people, come to my house. Here's my phone number. If you guys need to speak to me in anything, because I'm here. I'm always here, and I'll always be here, because, it's not easy being council, but we do our best, and we'll continue doing our best. Thank you for our experts here that are always, doing good work, and our team here. Tribal government, they invested a lot of their time to be here today, and also to make sure you guys are informed with the right information, because sometimes, we have information out there that is there, but, I won't speak on that, but, we're here to give you the facts, and, just listen, and, if you have questions, we're going to stick around after this meeting. Support it, so we can answer your questions, so in 19 days when we vote, you guys can make the right decision for your own selves. So with that, thank you, Akim Muchig. Love one another and support one another. So with that, God bless you. Han.
Thank you, Richard. Now we'll have Floyd as the chair. The topic is the timber limit claim. This kid.
Just take a tape, boy. Ek smat nog paan katakui sokakatapisk. Kaya sa minako ikutak yo panot sa kanya beauty pa. Kaya now, kineno understands. Okay, sokapi. Dasat ni katupin nantan stapaspin. Must go kya samika kimop. Kinasa pistotutsi opa mustke utashtuap sopi isso chikakstaman yopi ano ikstuap sop aji tohku tsimopa tohpumopa ikta sokkuikyopi kya sia putaksinenakku anstasanakku istakopi okimajtsipi makaksatu aksamoanstu asaporti sikao kyatsinikutsiyo Kenne no handistoka. Okizek soki chi manstak tusa. Amuan stokaks matup. Yagaita pisamaps kimya. Kikuko sinanix swaps. Kyazak toatua opak. Akai kakatapio panno kena. Kissochik ahtaexim stop. Koko sinans kissokosin. Kistonana kaumakso. Paikakatapia kaumakso. Iskaatakika, aiguhaika kimat. Unahin, itina manatko yos sokos. Manohanisstoimi 6 months. Kya sayaka peski, 50 years from now, that they have a good living. And that's what we should do. Ogyago hatsinak sa peep, chigak sa peep. But I just want to say that thank you all for coming here. Show an interest in our affairs for our tribe. Each and every one of you are important to us. As a tribe, we're the biggest tribe in Canada. And our numbers are increasing. And we got to continue to work together, trying hard for our generation. My generation, I'm over 60 now. I'm getting up there. But I think about our little grandchildren. Like I was saying, my youngest child is only 6 months old now. When he's 50 years old, I'd like to see them have a future. So, these are some of the things that we should think about. Put aside, ayika kimop. Put aside, anger, resentments. Ikukukuyop back in the day. I grew up in the back end of a residential school, and it was not fun. I was 4 years old when I got put into the residential school, didn't know how to speak English. And being in the residential school, that fear really played a role in my upbringing. For what reason? Some days I'll be scared, and it was the way we were brought up. And when you think about it, let's not put our children through this, our grandchildren. I want them to be in an environment where we can all be together, enjoy each other, no matter who we are, which is really, this is what it's all about. The blood tribe pulls together. All of us pulling together the same way will be a strong, strong tribe. But if we're being pulled apart, and one of the things that, money seems to be a big issue, and that's, money is the root of all evil. Let's not let that happen to us. Let's strive and use this money to make ourselves richer for our people, for our younger generation in the future. That's what it's about. And I find, that these people worked a lot through this, and, we can all use it. There's going to be distro, there's going to be projects, but let's continue to work together and keep going in the right direction. Let's work together. Nisuno nohpi päättäpi Chiinaks sikimmataaps. Matskahkuusp. Oki niksista iksiikaakima tamuuta paapispinna. Aamusei käänis tohkuutsemahpinna. Nistunist khanaamaks niksin niskääks. Situmada puujisuutmua. When I was 5, 6 years old, I was cooking. I was washing laundry, taking care of my younger siblings. And nohpistawas. I started sitting on a rake when I was 8 years old, learning how to work, doing these things. I was a teenager looking for jobs. I hitchhiked. I made sure that I helped out wherever I lived. These are the things that were instilled in me when I was a very young age. I was crazy when I was younger. But I said, "Chapspi, nuhtaakak, kenok, the skags, the tapimics, okay, takits maya, bakayikaki matusa, patapisin, anisayakayikaki matub, koko swags, ya musayagito anst, espumo kutapis. Ninna, you got to saminoas. Get honas pumo qua, what's in oasis. Can I know how to sapo? As you got the poor me or go on, I would stop at town site. Like it took swat, I don't kay 4:30. Ito yet to tape here. Utapis. Madokhut kuswata asna satsi. Kenya dito kansta kyam hokdina putax. Kitsi puto kspinnan. Kyog disto na no khotwat topi. Raktika kimaksinali. Nisto raktika kimatokswa. Kisto aktakkinisisi kipata pisin. Kenya ni tas. Ajiga kwa ko. Ayika kimok. Akimmotsi yo. O kaya soko iskwa koko silnaniksi. Haka tista piitsimia. Kaya pipotot. Kitsipo sinna. Kitsipo sinna nanne itapo totamati. Tapakata pi mate itsipo iks. Hamuks kaarsinnaaniks awania kitsipo sinnaanio anio kikipata piisin. Kamonuats tuki. Kimikstaats tupi pata piisin. Say nog tuassa puolak. Aksiikaa kimata. Koko sinnaaniksi. Makuttutsta piitsinaan kitsiipohsin. Kenenistu nog taas okutsta piitäki. Siksi mistä tää? Nyt siipohsin. Ne lohaat staatsta piitäki. Ska ägitä jää piippu jopi. Stikis, I have trouble meaning what I want to say, but saying it comes out better in Blackfoot than it does in the English language. And our grandfathers, our grandmothers say, learn your language. And if we lose our language, we lose our way of life. And that's very important. There's still a lot of us that can speak language, and that's where we are needed to keep it going. And then, you've got the information there. I'm so it's the pizza. I guess support. And we are in a good spot today. There's still settlements that could be coming along. And, I believe through prayers, through strong leadership, and through the community members, you guys are needed, not only for these settlements, but for the well-being of our people. And that's all I could say. But, it's us working together, pulling together. Because it's, we are actually all family, all of us when you think about it. We all come from the same roots. And the way I see it, we are all equal. That's all I could say tonight, and thank you for showing interest in the well-being of our tribe.